Do you make way smaller socks when you lose weight and you end up giving it away? And do you make pom poms to go along with the socks or to add to the socks and make shorty's version of your socks and add pom poms to that? Are you extra in knitting? Well, if you are, come sit with me. So, what is being extra or what is be extra? Why is this channel if you ask? Well, welcome. If you're new here, be extra is to encourage people to continue expanding their skill set in their journey, in their knitting journey, or crafting, or anything in life, really. Or, specifically in this podcast, it's about knitting or art. So, if somebody ever told you, oh, don't do that project yet because that's not your skill level, even though you love that pattern or that project, Be Extra is a place where we encourage people to actually do that project, pick up that skill along the way. It's knitting. What could go wrong? It's just string and sticks, right? So that's what it's all about. It's not about being annoying. It is, well, sometimes, you could be annoying when you're being extra with your skill, your knitting skill. But no, it's about encouragement and reclaim that saying be extra and put a positive vibe to it. Why don't we? And if you have been here before, welcome back. And today is Saturday. And I have one finished object. I have one work in progress. And I still have the same question as before. What to do or what to make for my next big project. So the current working project that I'm having is a kind of like in between project. So it's socks. Still making socks. I still have not decided, even though I got good suggestions from some viewers from my last episode. I will talk about it, what it's about, but I'm still figuring it out. Okay, so why don't I just start with what am I wearing? So I think today's gonna be a short episode. However, I'm trying to continue improving, like be extra, so I can try to continue my or try to live my own suggestion to people to be extra, to continue improving myself. So as you have heard in the introduction part, there is some piano sound, and I put a logo. That's pretty much a production aspect that I added to this YouTube. So basically, I made the logo, I arranged the music, I tried multiple instruments. So I, tried with piano, trombone, and cello, and put it on Instagram. I also made 3 different type of logos, and then I had people voted, which logo would people like to see and which music would people like to hear. And that's the selection based on, my research. So, I can always evolve in terms of, creating or with the logo and the music. But to me, it's a definitely a an improvement that I made for myself, really, because this channel I started over a year ago, and I love music. I play music. I play instruments, but I just never can come up with a music for my own channel. Not I could never, but I just, when you're an artist, or when you think you're an artist, when you feel like an artist, you you don't force things, right? Like, things need to just happen organically, kind of thing. And especially when making music, I don't make music for a living. But I again, I enjoy music, but every time I want to create music for my own, I try to let the melody or rhythm or whatever comes to me organically. So I try not to force it, not like, oh, I have to come up with something, let me think of what that would be, kind of thing. So so that's where I'm coming from, in terms of making music. So that's why for a year I haven't been pushing myself to make music for my own channel. But this week I finally had the desire to make my own music, and I know I want it to be pentatonic scale. And ooh, and I was just wondering, like, what instrument would this music go up well with. So I decided to try out first with piano, which you have heard, and then we'll see. We'll see if I want to, start or continue with a different instrument in the future. Anyway, I think it's just a good step in the development, continuous development of this YouTube. Now, why am I making this, changes and all? Really, it's just for me. I like to challenge myself, I guess. Again, the name of the channel is Be Extra. So, yeah, just continue improving. That's all. Anyway, let's just get into knitting. What am I wearing? So I wore this multiple times, and I just am loving this vest. And especially now it's getting a little bit warmer. We're going into spring, and definitely I will wear this well into spring, because this is a vest made out of fingering weight yarn. Even though this is color work, meaning, at the end it's kind of double fingering weight thickness, because you always hold, well, this one, two colors at a time. But still, it's really, really lightweight. It's not overheating me. And I will see if the temperature continues to go up in the spring, if this will work during the day. And definitely in the spring nights it will be very nice, very appreciated. And this pattern is by Joanna Johnson, and this is called the Scotland Yard vest. And this is based on the book, or the series of Sherlock Holmes, based on Sherlock Holmes story. Joanna has a, what do you call, like, a group of patterns that she published as a book. So Sherlock Holmes knits. So I talk about this multiple times in many episodes. So if you have been following, so you're like, oh no, not another what do you call Scotland Yard Fest talk, but there is a reason why I'm wearing and talking about this. But I will talk about it later. So, meanwhile, I can continue with what I just finished. So, my finished object here is the socks. So, story about this. Usually I use US size 1.5 or 1 uh, to make my uh, socks, and usually I use fingering weight yarn, and I use 64 stitches. My shoe size is 12, size 12. Now I noticed sometimes socks can just stretch as you wear them. So I wanted, okay, maybe if I make it smaller to begin with, even if it's stretch, it will just stretch to my normal foot size. Anyway, I went down to 0, 64, and then fingering weight, and too small, way too small. I mean, I could put it on my feet, but it's just not comfortable. I decided to give it away, and the first group of people that I asked is my knitting friends, and my knitting friend Eva wanted to take or to adopt this socks. So I will send it to Eva after I finish recording this, and then hopefully Eva will enjoy this, or whoever in the family, Eva's family. So yeah, so I finished this. So I have two of them. I mean, a pair. And next, since I have exactly 20 grams left of this, meaning each of this is 40 grams because this is a 100-gram skein, I definitely cannot make another pair with the rest of it. However, I decided to do a reverse color combination where I use the rest of this as the toe and the ribbing. Meanwhile, the main part of the sock is coming from the flap, what do you call this, heel part, and also another yarn. Basically, this is wool and nylon, really nice sock for socks. So I just decided to use this as the main part of the next socks, and it's going to be shorties because again we're going into spring season, and I want to wear them when I play tennis, and also I want to start having shorties with pom poms. So that's what my work in progress. So we're going into work in progress. Maybe I'll take one of this so I can highlight how beautiful that is. So this, I just finished it this morning. So I went to the gym in the morning. So today's Saturday. I always go to the gym early on Saturday. Usually I go to the gym after work during the weekdays, but for oh my god, this is so beautiful. For the weekend, I like to go in the morning early and then go to my favorite coffee shop in town. It's Penstock Coffee, and have my macchiato and catch up with my shows while knitting. So I finished this one sock in the coffee shop. My god, this is so beautiful. It's a perfect color. And Right. So what I'm trying to say is I have still 20 grams of the main color left, so it's just a reverse color. So this is the color that I use for the flap here. So I still use it for the heel, but this part, instead of using the main color, I just use another color that is um, that that I have in my stash. So I'm making another one and finish it, and I'll adding a pom pom to that also. So hopefully by the time I finish recording it, before I finish recording this, I will have a pom pom. Why is it not working? Okay. So that's pretty much what I'm working on now. Right now, the active current whip is this pom pom. So I just got this. I'm sure people have seen this before. This is a pom pom maker. Um, it doesn't have. I don't think it has a brand. Uh, but I just got it online, and it comes in multiple sizes. Hold on, and I can. Um, so here you go. So this is the pom pom maker, and it doesn't even say. It just says 4 sizes pom pom. And then I'm using the smaller, no, the second smallest one, the blue one here, which I think the proportion is perfect for the sock. Sorry, I was thinking of the word proportionizing. If people follow RuPaul, and if you remember Eureka O'Hara saying proportionizing. Anyway, this is interesting. This scissor works better in cutting the pom pom rather than this smaller scissor that supposedly should work better. Anyway, so next, again, this will be a really fast episode, but I promise you it will be full of knitting discussion. So I'm sorry, let me just finish this before I continue. I should have not started this before I hit record, but that's how extra I am. Okay, so we're almost done with this pom pom. So where am I? Oh yes. So what am I gonna work on? Well, it's still the same question as the previous episode. So I'm not gonna show all the yarn that I was showing the previous episode. By the way, I'm really, if you come here because you're looking for a knitting podcast, I'm pretty sure you expect me to show a lot of fiber or skeins of yarn or my stash. I don't know if that's true or not, because the majority of knitting podcasts, they love to show, their yarn stash. The backdrop of, their podcast is their yarn, drawer. It's not my style. I don't really like to show my yarn. I like to talk about what am I gonna do with the yarn, or just, like my idea. So last episode though, I did show some yarn because I posted a question which project should I work on next. Now, the thing is, the question was, should I make another vest, Scotland Yard vest, this vest, with different color set, or should I make another vest, another design, vest design that is all over basket weave stitch? I will again place the information down below. However, the problem here is I want to make fingering weight yarn, a fingering weight vest. This vest that I'm wearing is perfect because it is designed for fingering weight, this Scotland Yard vest. However, the basket weave one, that is designed for DK weight, and I don't have DK yarn set for a vest. So I have been thinking I can just redesign. If I really want the basket weave, I can just redesign the basket weave into a fingering weight vest by using the fingering weight vest design, but just, instead of adding the color work, I just apply the basket weave stitch. Will I like that? Or will I like the color of the next set of color of this Scotland Yard vest more than the basket weave? So this leads to the need of swatching. Have I swatched them? No. Do I know my gauge? Yes, I already made this. This is, your product is pretty much your gauge, right? Why do I need to swatch for a gauge? It's just saying, just grow up, Stephanos. Just swatch it. See, because, by the way, somebody replied to my question in the previous episode. The best answer that I received was, love what you knit. Exactly what I keep saying in my own channel. Love what you knit, knit what you love. So this person said, go swatch it and see which one you love and work on that one. And I'm like, thank you so much, because that is exactly what I need to do. Have I done it? No, not yet. Because it has the word swatching in it. Anyway, no, I'm just being silly. I will swatch it. The thing is, there's another thing. Woohoo! Pom Pom! Almost done with this pom pom, and I'll put this into the shorties, and then we'll see how good that will be. The thing is, there's another thing. There's so many things. All the things. And I have fiber in my mouth. Next week, starting Friday, I'm flying out Friday. I am going to Italy. I'm going back to Italy. I go to Italy every year. I have friends all over Italy, and I just love the culture. I teach myself Italian, and I take classes in Italian. By the way, if you want to have a conversation in Italian when you see me, please do. I love to practice it. Maybe one day I will use this channel as a practice. Maybe I'll start the channel in Italian, and then if anyone wants to practice Italian with knitting terms, let me know. I start finding some knitting podcast in Italian, and I really love them. I will put a link in the comment sec or in the description section if anyone is looking for any of podcasts in different languages, especially Italian. Anyway, so I'm leaving Friday, and I would like to bring a what do you call a project that I can start or cast on or ready to cast on when I arrive at the airport or at the waiting uh, gate. I love doing that. I enjoy starting a new project um, during my trip, and you know I love just using my waiting time in the airport by casting a project. Um, for example, last year, oh, actually, I have the project or the product here next to me, so I can just show it to you. Sorry. Yeah, last year I went to Greece. Um, I went to Athens, Greece, and I started this right here. This is what is this? This is Brooklyn tweed pattern all over cable. Love it. Veronique Avery was the designer. Uh, cannot remember the name of the pattern, but this is beautiful. Anyway, I cast it on during waiting or while I was waiting for my flight. Anyway, so I think after this I will finish. That's the worst looking pom pom. I will finish the second sock, the second shorties, and add the pom pom accordingly, and I will start swatching. But the swatching is mainly not for the, well, I guess for the gauge also, mainly to see which pattern or which what do you call vest would I enjoy the most working on during my trip. And I will take some video and some pictures, especially during the trip, and then I will share it in my next episode. So here we are. This is done. Sorry. Yeah. So I'm going to Lombardia and Veneto region. Basically, I'm going to Milan, Bergamo, Parma, and also I'm taking a train to Switzerland. I will be at St. Moritz, and I I always go to the Veneto region every time I go to Italy, basically in the north, because I have my friend who lives there, and I love to just visit, especially in Padua. But can you? Oh my god! I should have put it up here, not here. Like, doesn't matter. Isn't it beautiful? It's so gorgeous. There, oh, there you go. So hopefully by that time I will have a project in mind. However, even if I don't have it, I I'm still in my sock knitting era. So you see how um, I have this done. By the way, I make, or I like to use double pointed needle for sock knitting. I don't like magic loop. I don't like 9-inch circular. I love double pointed needles, and this is carbon, or sorry, this is Prim ergonomics, and this is the carbon technology. Um, and the funny thing is, I have one set of this size, which is 2.5 millimeter or 1.5 US size needle. So I wanted to, since I was thinking, okay, maybe when I finish this, and then I started, oh my god, this is so beautiful. And I started this, I was thinking, all right, let me get another set of the same size so I can do, two socks concurrently. So I ordered online, but before it arrives, it arrives in 2 days, but I finished this in less than 2 days. I mean, okay, 2 days. Like today, like the second day is today. But this arrives, the new one arrives today. So I'm like, all right, it doesn't matter anyway. It never is a problem for me. The second, second sock syndrome is never a problem. So, but the funny story here is, when I order another set, it says, okay, $9 or something for, it was reduced. It was 50% off. I forget where I got it from. And 50% off, so $9 for 5. And then in parentheses, pair. So I'm like, yeah, there are 5 needles, traditionally in a double pointed needle set. Apparently, $9 are for 5 pairs of the same size. I'm like, so there are 25 needles in there. I'm like, okay, I guess it's a sign for me to make socks, a lot of socks. So, okay, even if I don't figure out my next big project, I will have enough needles to make a lot of socks. And the good thing is, I finally decided to work on this beautiful yarn. And I got this yarn from Balzac Fiber in Ocean Grove, New Jersey. Sadly, Balzac Fiber has closed since then, and it's a new knitting or yarn store now in Ocean Grove. But I know so many people from that store, Susan, and also the owner of Balzac Fiber. But anyway, it's a whole new store now. But when Balzac Fiber was still open, I got it from them, and it is from Rhythm Knits. This is called Michael Sock 75 Superwash Merino, 25% nylon, fingering weight, 4-ply, 463 yards for 100 grams. The colorway is Tropical Sunrise. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And my plan is, if I don't find the next big project idea by next week, I will just bring this and this to Italy. I think I'm undermining my knitting's ability or speed. I mean, two skein or 1 1/4, 1 3/4 skein for vacation. Oh, I might be needing yarn shopping. Well, maybe. Anyway, if I don't find out what my next vest, that will be my vacation work project. Okay, that's. Oh, why is this here? Again, staying with the fingering. By the way, I made this apple pie or apple. What do you call this? Pie. Oh, really nice. No sugar, just apple. And the crumble. Apple crumble. Apple crumble. And the crumble is just wheat flour, butter, salt. And yeah. Quick. Last night. Anyway. Yes. Fingering weight for spring. And I made this last summer. It's fingering weight. And this is no pattern. This one is basing on the papillon shawl. So if you remember the papillon shawl, it looks something like this. But I really wanted that on a sweater. I talk about this so many times in previous episodes. Go back to some previous episodes. But this is fingering weight. This will be perfect to go to Switzerland because I'm going to a mountain region, and I'm sure it's still gonna be cool enough up there. And so these two I will bring while working on my socks. And hopefully by Monday or Tuesday I will be done with this, because I would like to play tennis before I go to Italy, and I would like to wear this. I think that's it. What else? I did a live episode last week where I was just knitting and hanging out with a friend, giving our opinion about our favorite TV show, which is RuPaul's Drag Race. Currently it's season 17. If you want to watch it, I'll put a link somewhere here. And yeah, if you watch RuPaul's Drag Race, let me know who is your favorite diva, who is your favorite diva from current season, who do you want to win, or who do you think will win. And do you know if any drag queen knits or crochet? I think Jujubee started knitting. I don't know if she still knits a lot, but last year I saw her knitting while she's waiting in the backstage when she was in West End. I think there was a musical that she was in. Well, she's in a musical right now, the Drag Queen, the musical in New York. But before then, she was in West End, London, and I saw her Instagram post that she's knitting. That's really cute. I would love to know who else, what other drag queens that knit. Anywho, I also have been going to the gym. I'm trying to get a good routine, trying to get fit, lose some weight. And maybe that's why I was thinking, okay, I need smaller socks because I lost weight. No, you don't knit way smaller socks when you lose weight, Stephanos. You can still wear your same sock. I mean, let me figure out what my project is, but in my mind, I want to bring this because this is already done. I don't need to figure things out. But again, if I want to be extra, I might start a whole new vest. But I feel like I will use a lot of shorties this spring and summer, so might as well use this all up. Like with this, three, I think I can get 3 sets of shorty. Yeah, if not 2. I think 3. Find another ball. 3. Add another ball. 4. And I mean, and I have 5 sets of DPN. Okay, I think that's what this episode is gonna be called. And I'm in my sock era, or I'm in my sock era. Yeah. Until then, be extra, love what you knit what you love. Be extra means keep expanding your skills. Take that next challenge in your project decision. Oh, should I listen to myself and take the challenge? Oh no! Okay, back up. When I said I don't like to show my stash, one more fact. Apparently now my stash is depleting. I haven't been purchasing yarn. But I think in my mind, I give myself a challenge. My challenge is this stash. Oh, except for the set of yarns that I have planned for, everything else that is in the yarn stash, I gave myself a challenge. Your challenge is make things using all this already purchased or leftover yarn that you did not think about previously in terms of color coordinating, weight coordinating, and see how far you can go. So previously when I just started knitting, my challenge was, can I design something like comparable to what patterns that have been published? Can I do that? Okay, I think I could. And then if you ask me, why don't you write a pattern? Well, hold up. I feel like my story is all over the place. Yeah, so my first challenge to myself when I was just start knitting, can I knit? And then can I design something? Yeah, I think I could. I don't want to write a pattern because at the moment I observe. I know personally a lot of designers who don't design anymore just because of the community. I mean, I'm not saying everyone, but there are people who are really, how do I say it politically correct? Well, I mean, designers will get a lot of emails from people who purchase their patterns. This, to me, I think is not sustainable, which is true because there are a lot of designers who stop designing because of this fact. Why is it not sustainable? First, you pay one time pattern, but then the support is forever. You will get emails from a pattern that people have purchased. Even if it's not an errata, you have, well, I don't know, you need to reply to them. So that's what I'm thinking. If Home Depot can sell you insurance on their washing machine that you paid one time a certain amount of money, and then add that insurance so that if there is any problem with that washing machine, you already are covered by that insurance. Why can't we pattern, or you pattern, or in general pattern designer do the same thing to compensate for your continuing effort or work? So what I'm trying to say, if somebody pay for your pattern, but then, you know, they continue to need help by emailing you, and they're not errata, they're not, nothing is wrong with your pattern, it's just them needing some helps in understanding your pattern or working on a project. Why can't we apply the same idea? So if they want to pay one time the price of the pattern plus, let's say, $70 insurance, that they will have support for the next 2 years. Let's say you need 2 years to make a sweater. Then every time you have question, you will get time that you will get reply from the designer. I think that will compensate the intellectual continuing intellectual effort from the designer. Now, let's say, the communication is, people found some errors on your pattern. Okay, maybe that's when you can say, okay, I don't charge you for that. If you want to get your insurance back because there were some errata or something, that's fine. That could be an option. Or people can just pay just for the pattern but not get the insurance, but when they want to ask something, they should pay a fee if it is not, again, if it's not an error or if it's not an errata. So that way you can continue supporting your designer. I think that is important. As a community, maybe I'm talking really this is not accepted, but if you're a designer, think about it. Don't you think it's correct? We can rethink about all things, right? But that's just my personal opinion. I do not want people to own me just because they pay one time an X amount of dollars for a pattern that I wrote, but continue asking for support. I don't think that is fair. Again, it's just my opinion. Everyone can have an opinion. I have another opinion. On the other side of designing, let's say I design and then I need a test knitter or test knitters. In my opinion, I will need some fund available so that I can compensate the time of my test knitters, on top of asking them if they're okay using their material and I don't support them with the material. I think currently, I don't, to me, it is wild to know people are not begging, but applying to be chosen to test knit, to be chosen to work on something with their own time, with their own yarn, with their own effort, with their own intellectual. The way you knit, the way you interpret a pattern is your intellect. If you don't pay for the pattern, you still are providing some huge part of the knitting or the creation process. So it is interesting to me, the test knitting aspect in designing a knitting pattern or knitting patterns. If I have to design, I need to be able to pay my, just like you're paying, let's say, your editor. Why do you pay your editor and not pay your knitters of your test knit? Your editors will still get your pattern for free. Why don't you pay them? I mean, why do you pay them and not the test knit? These are my questions. Now, again, if I have to design, I will have to pay for my editors. I will have to pay for my test knitters. And that's all. That's my opinion. Where am I? Why am I here? Tomorrow I'm going to a temple in New Jersey. It's a huge Hindu temple with 10 other friends, and it will be a nice time. I will get some picture, put it on my Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see it. It's beextrraknitting on Instagram. Anywho, love what you knit what you love. Maybe not everyone can always knit what they love. Maybe they have to knit an order that they might not love, but they just need to make it to support themselves. But in general, just enjoy the process, expand your skill. And challenging yourself doesn't mean always work on challenging patterns. You can always challenge yourself as basic as use the yarn that you already have. That is a challenge. So be extra. Be extra in using your stash. Just as much as you are extra in purchasing yarn. Anywho, until then.